There we go. All right, we are on the right channel. We are in the right spot. Let me go to the launch page, make sure we're there, and then we'll send that tweet out, and we'll be good to go. There, I see. I see a really good-looking guy who just got his hair cut. No, that was not me. That was last Saturday. But I notice how Jake kind of turns to the side there. He got that little high and tight going. That's a little homage to your old pal here.
Yeah,
Brick, if you're watching, yes, the old apple doesn't fall far from the tree because my son Jake Hari is joining me on the show tonight.
that's right. That's right.
With the one and only, the dual show, the MLB DFS strategy / live before lock, the dual template that you and I have, because I keep mentioning it and then we don't do a show for 2 weeks, so I don't follow up and get us a new one. But here we are. But we are coming to you here with 5 games. It's a 7:15 lock tonight. So no worries there. Shout out to Josh for covering my show this morning for me. I had a family event, so I much appreciate that. I have not had a Saturday off in quite some time, or a Saturday morning anyway. But here we are. Jake, what content did you put forth today?
The cheat sheets, those are out, and some behind the scenes stuff. So that stuff doesn't matter to the viewers. I will link the cheat sheets in chat right now. I don't know if I shared them with everyone in the premium Slack, but they've been on the site for hours now. So I'll put those in there. That was basically it. Adam was on the early show this morning. So it'll be back to me and you doing dual shows next week, I believe.
Okay, next week. I lost track of the Jake Spag switch, and then I had to throw my hat in the ring and do something different.
Yeah.
Josh, I'm sure, was out of sorts this morning because, wait, I don't work on Saturdays, and he's actually gotten used to not working on Saturdays. So
I think I'm technically covering for Chris right now. So,
right.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, were you on the show with Josh where he has now decided he's going to call me Eric?
Yes, that was us last night.
Oh, that was very funny. That was a good time. I was laughing because about half my family calls me Emac. I mean, they'll call me Eric as well, but there's a good portion of them that call me Emac. And that was from when I was a little kid. My brother's name is Brian, so he's BMac, and that's my dad's name is John. He's Johnny Mac. So it was kind of a thing. And then his brother is just Mac. So there you go. So it's weird when I call him Mac because that's what he answers to, which is just, it's like, really? I can't call you Pete? And his name's not really Pete, it's Larry. So there we go. Full cycle there. We have many pseudonyms in the McPherson family.
Yeah, that's pretty confusing.
But let's jump on in here. We've got everything going. We're missing one lineup. And I've got 5 to make still on Yahoo, but I'm able to do more or less what I want, and there's not really many late games. So today, I will probably just bang those out on air. We'll get some projections and stuff loaded here. I was hoping that other lineup would come in, because traditionally before I start uploading everything when there's one left, I get it all done, and then that lineup pops, unless it's Tampa Bay from last night.
Last night was a disaster as far as the timing of getting lineups. As you saw, if you tuned into our Josh and I's show yesterday, it was the worst possible.
It was horrible. But let's get going here. We'll go game by game. Let me get the right screens up, and we'll just we'll talk about that. Then as they come in, we'll get to see the scramble. I did like yesterday that you guys were in mega scramble mode. And that's one of the things I think people forget, that when you're doing the mass entry and you're running a bunch of lineups and especially in baseball, because you're running a variety of stacks and you really can't just push one button and get your litany of stacks unless you're Alex running it on 2 computers with multiple instances, browsers, and windows open. But we're not at that level yet. Do you know that's how he does it?
Yeah, I know he has multiple computers, not just multiple screens, and then multiple browsers as well. I'm sure he's got a pretty good process down, but I'm sure last night wasn't super easy for him either.
No, was not easy for anybody. Well, unless you won. It was kind of interesting. I had one lineup in that basically winner take all for 100,000 over there on DraftKings. Talk about egregious payouts. I plated 3 of my 10 for doubling up. So I lost $12 on the management fee free contest over there on Yahoo. Definitely check that out. That'll spawn around 7:30 tonight for the Sunday games. Jump on in that. If you guys have not yet signed up for Yahoo, if you come in on our link and use the promo code Osmo, it's a double bonus because 1, we get credit for referring you, and 2, you get up to $30 if it's in Yahoo Sports Rewards points with your initial deposit if it's your first DFS deposit. So you can have played for money on their season-long stuff, but if you haven't made a DFS deposit yet, you will get that coming in on our link. So we do appreciate that. Drop the link in chat to the Spotlight Hitters and Stacks article. Third paragraph gives you the link and instructions on how to use that. Plus, there's a link in there to somebody wrote a Spotlight Pitchers article today.
That would be me. I forgot about that because I was doing that last night. But yeah, I guess that's the other piece of content that I did today. What have you done today? Hitters?
I did Spotlight Hitters and Stacks for the early, the afternoon, the main, and the late slate tonight.
Okay.
I'm given a plethora. So they want me to turn my mic up. I'm probably talking the wrong direction. My apologies. I can always talk a little louder, and we'll get that sorted out. I think it's time for a new mic. It gets life and then it goes away, but this is now about 8 years old. So
okay.
Been around since the early days of DFS, along with me. But let's look at our games here quickly and give our thoughts. Pitching is going to be interesting tonight. You've got Masahiro Tanaka, you've got Hyun-Jin Ryu, and you've got Lance Lynn as your 3 probably best guys. You're going to find a lot of people are going to get some heartburn paying for Lance Lynn, which, yeah, you probably should. He has changed the way he pitched. He uses, you'll have to help. Is it splitter or slider? He uses a slider now against lefties, which has helped out tremendously. Still doesn't strike them out dramatically, but they don't kick his ass like they used to when he was with St. Louis. And then you've got him phenomenal against righties. You've got Tanaka coming off a magnificent game. What is it, like 110 or 115 pitches, 2 hits, a walk, and a complete game. And then you've got Hyun-Jin Ryu, who is going against Colorado, which we know is definitely watered down when they're outside of Coors Field. And no Trevor Story. He is on the DL. I believe he hurt his hand sliding into second base last night. And then sort of our next tier, well, let's talk about it. It's Mike Fultonevich going against Anibal Sanchez and the Washington Nationals. Atlanta has a 5.3 implied run total. So do the Nats. 10.3 in this one. It's a nice day here in the DC area. 83 to 85 degrees at first pitch. Talk to me about Fulte. 6,400 there on DK. So that is something I will consider. He's 36 on Yahoo. I think I have him in one of my lineups that I've made thus far. One of my 5 that I've made, but I've got 5 more to go. What do you want to do with him? He is turned things around a little bit from the beginning of this season. He is someone that we thought would continue on a nice trajectory with harnessing his talent, but he sort of topped out a little bit. Some troubles with lefties. Looks like that may have corrected a tiny bit, but the best hitters coming from the Nationals are lefties, and that's no guarantee through, I guess we're almost exactly halfway through the season at this point, but no guarantee that future performance, but we do like that improvement. Talk to me about Fulte.
Yeah, I was wondering why I wasn't getting to any Fulte at all, and now I'm going through it, and I have an error in my sheet, so that is probably why. He's just too cheap. It is a tough matchup against the Nats. You're seeing the implied total, like you mentioned, it is hot in DC, and of course, there's some worrisome bats, like strikeout perspective with guys like Kurt Suzuki in there, and then you've got the power with Rendon and Soto. Trey Turner can be a problem. So this price is kind of baiting me into playing Fulte. What do we have for his ownership on the last update?
That would be a good question. I can tell you what it is.
100%? Yeah, that's not bad.
It is.
That's right. That's FanDuel.
It's 10 on Yahoo. I haven't pulled in DK, but
he's up there on DK. Over 30.
Okay, which makes sense. And the price point there is nice. Because, do you really want to go to Tyler Beede? On Yahoo at 25, you probably do. But I don't know what you want to do on DK. So I think on DK, I suspect he'll be one of my 4 guys. I think he'll make that cut. I believe the first 3 that I said I did like, they're going to be the favorite 3, and then there's going to be a little hodgepodge down there for my next 3. And there's only 10 that we're looking at here, but I'm trying to get some of those Texas bats.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm paying for Texas as well. So everything I talk about today is probably going to make sense as far as paying down for pitching. trying to get, and you don't even have to pay down that much. Like you can still get Ryu in a lot of your lineups, especially on DraftKings. So Folty's going to be one of these guys I go to as an SP2 with my tons of Ryu shares that I'm going to have tonight. So it's just more of a price play than anything. Not super impressed with Folty. He's kind of been up and down. He needs to give you this 15 to 18, and hopefully he gets up to 20 DK point range. I think that's quite a stretch with the 5.3 implied total against here, but I don't think he needs to have like an outlier performance for him to be worth it at 6,400. So that's the appeal there. It's not about the matchup really.
All right. On the other side here, let me cancel my lineup imports. On the other side here, we have the one and only Anibal Sanchez. Hey, revenge. Ooh, and we did just get that Giants lineup. So nice. That'll work out for us because we still have 45 minutes to go. So looking at one Mr. Anibal Sanchez, he has been, lucky thus far on the season. 5.1 XFIP. If we drill back over the last two seasons, I think we get a little bit more representative sample size of what he is doing. It's a 4.3 XFIP. He sort of changed his pitching style. He's been getting more strikeouts than normal, but his new normal is about where league average is amongst the the B minus guys at 22.8%. That's combined against lefties since the beginning of last season. 405 lefties. That's a 24.4% strikeout rate. 459 for the righties going against him. He has a 21.4% strikeout rate. The big concern is the 10% walk rate against lefties. But looking at the lineup here, we have 1, 2, 3 lefties: Freeman, Markakis, and Albies. So they also don't offer a ton of strikeouts. So you got Acuna at 26% over his last 600 righty-righty matchups. You've got Donaldson at 25% over his last 400 righty-righty matchups. And then Tyler Flowers, last 300 righty-righty matchups, he has a nearly 30% strikeout rate. So I don't hate Anibal Sanchez, but I'm not doing cartwheels because the problem is the Nationals bullpen will blow whatever lead he provides them, if there is one.
Yeah, that's the question always with the Nats. He's not a huge strikeout pitcher, and then you got a pretty bad strikeout matchup. The Braves are kind of one of these teams that I hate targeting on a day-to-day basis. There's times where I will, but not really looking to attack them here too much. So Anibal would be more of a pivot than anything, at least on DraftKings for me. And he's not even that much of a pivot at 20% ownership. So that's the problem I have with them here. I'd like to get to neither of these two guys, but Folty's probably going to be the guy that I get to quite a bit more, as these, there's not a huge chance for the win on either side. It's tough strikeout matchups, but looks like a little bit tougher here for Anibal.
All right, let's move along, and then we can circle back to whatever people would like. Houston and the Yankees. This one will be interesting. We mentioned at the beginning, Masahiro Tanaka came in off one of his best starts of his career, but a still tough Astros lineup. They've got Altuve back. He's incredibly underpriced. He's 14 on Yahoo. He is 3.4 on DK. I don't care that it's righty-righty and Tanaka. He's leading off and he's good. You've got Bregman, Brantley, Jordan Alvarez, Yulesky Gurriel, Reddick, White, Stassi, and Marisnik. So it kind of dies out there, 4, 5, or probably 6, 7, 8, 9. On the other side, you've got Wade Miley. We'll talk about him in a second. But what do you want to do with Houston or Tanaka? Feels like perhaps a Bregman, an Alvarez, and a discounted Altuve are really the only guys I'm going against. I'd be a little concerned if I had to go with more than 2 or 3 guys from Houston in any of my stacks, just because Tanaka is good and the Yankees have a good bullpen.
Yeah, it seems it would be difficult for me to recommend Houston as a tough stack here, even though it is as a top stack, I should say. It would be more of a contrarian stack, if anything, but you've got some pretty obvious value with Altuve leading off at 3,400. I mean, if he's leading off against anyone for 3,400 on DraftKings, that's probably a guy you should be looking at for like a cash build. But Tanaka's not someone I'm looking to full stack against, especially coming off that last start. He kind of turn the clock back a little bit to the last couple of years where we hadn't seen the massive upside, and then he goes out and throws a complete game shutout, and went super, like he did it pretty efficiently. 111 pitches, not that to push him that much. So kind of wiped away the concerns we had with Tanaka. I still don't think that I want to play Tanaka at 9,400 here. If I'm getting up into the top range, it's probably Lance Lynn, oddly enough, or going all the way up to Ryu. So not a ton I want from a tournament perspective on either side of the Tanaka versus Houston bats. And then Miley going up against the Yankees. I really like the Yankees. They're not my top stack. They're like in the probably top 3, if anything. Miley's not great, and these Yankees bats are. It's just going to be an ownership thing for me. And I'm going to Texas if I'm going to a really, really chalk stack heavily.
All right, so let's do some fun with game logs here, utilizing one Wade Miley. So this year in 15 starts, how many starts do you think he has more than 3 earned runs allowed?
15 starts?
15 starts.
5.
That would be 1, Jake. That would be 1. Of course, Detroit got to him, and that makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah,
Detroit.
Exactly.
Last year, he had 16 starts as well. How many did he have over 3 earned runs?
4?
That would be 0, Jake. So in his last 30 starts,
wild.
He has not allowed more than 4 runs, and it was 4 runs. He has allowed 4 runs once and not allowed more than 3 in that time frame. So just putting that out there. Now, this is the Yankees. Let's not forget that Stanton, Judge, they do swing the bat from the right side of the plate. That's very helpful for them. But this is not necessarily the slam dunk spot. Would it shock you if we saw 3 solo shots from these guys? No. But would it shock you if the Yankees maybe scored 4 or 5 total runs in this game? Not really either. So they're kind of your sort of contrarian stack. Now, what does the stack tool say about them?
Let me pull it up. I got it right here. About the Yanks, they're going value fairly. Right around 12% for your top stack percentage, about 13% ownership share. For me, that's not a big enough difference to make me want to like X them out or anything as main stacks. Although I don't think that would be the worst idea if you wanted to do some manual intervention here with the optimizer. I've played around with doing that, just like fading a chalk stack that we have going as overvalued. I don't think that's a terrible idea.
All right. We got a question from Premium here from Farmerist. I'm calling him Yahoo. And not Yahoo like, hey, Yahoo, get out of my way. That was a mean thing to say. But Pirates, like Yahoo, the Jolly Roger, treasure. You know what a pirate's treasure is, right?
I know what a pirate's treasure is, yeah.
What is it? I believe that would be booty.
Yeah,
Jake. It would be booty. There we go. So 2 tasteless jokes on my part. I'm coming in hot tonight. I can't wait till my wife boxes my ears in because I know she can hear what I'm saying right now. So that will be fun. Yes, I will be paying for it. No, I will not be periscoping that little interaction between us here. But with regards to the question here from Pharmacist, he asks on FanDuel, is it bad to put, or is it not optimal to use Altuve as a utility guy on this slate because there aren't that many good second basemen? Now, I would say this. If you're putting in the lineup you like, no, it's not a problem at all. And secondly, a lot of people probably will go to Altuve and look for something else at the utility spot. So only having 10 teams to choose from here on our 5-game slate, it's not the worst way to go to create a little bit of differentiation because it's, maybe 10% of all the rosters will have 2 second basemen on them in that type of a format?
I was just going to say, I mean, if it projects pretty well, if it's also going to be a unique build, there's not a problem with that at all. I would never blanket say, like, you can't put 2 X position in your lineup if you have a utility spot. So for me, just play the lineups that you think are the best. And that sometimes might be double catcher. Like if there's 2 catchers in really good spots, a lot of times people won't play the second catcher, even if it's the best projected player for that spot that's left over in your lineup. So wouldn't worry about that. It's kind of like the dual tight end thing in football.
Yes. That's also a fantasy draft trick. Putting in 2 catchers because you have all those flex spots, especially if one of them's Yasmani Grandal. Used to get some very nice differentiation on Dodger stacks that way. I have not played there very much this year because I've been focusing on Yahoo and DraftKings. But if you're going with a Milwaukee stack, don't leave him out just because he's a catcher. Same thing on FanDuel. And thanks, pharmacist Derek. Thank you for seeing the humor in that. We're having some fun. No Sean Beede tease in the chat.
Where's Sean B, by the way?
I don't know, but I do know that definitely not EMAC is in the chat. So now definitely not EMAC in the chat and definitely EMAC on the show. So you can see I am definitely not EMAC. There's been some rumors that I had some burner accounts, Jake.
I mean, I some rumors too, but I guess I've been proven wrong unless you're typing on another computer to the side here.
I would not. No, well, I have 2 computers here, but one laptop is folded. It's my work laptop, and my personal laptop is sitting on top of it right now. So, no, that would not be me. But back to this one here. Rank the Yankees for us here.
Okay.
And knowing a couple of them might be a little bit rusty because they've been out for a large portion of the season. We have to take that into account.
Just disregarding ownership. I mean, Stanton.
Yeah.
And then Judge, Voit, either Hicks or Encarnacion, 4-5. Then probably LeMahieu, and then 7, 8, 9 after that.
I didn't hear. Okay, if you had to choose between Edwin and Voit.
Voit.
Well, I guess that would be unavoidable. But
yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
All right, let's get on to our next game here. We started out quickly, but of course I derailed us. But hey, that's what we do here. We have. This is the other good one. The third 7-15 game. Colorado at the Dodgers. Dodgers carrying a 5.3 implied run total going against Peter Lambert. Don't play Peter Lambert today. I don't feel good about that. I do feel good about the Dodgers. Dodgers, Yankees, Texas are probably going to be the 3 most popular options today. With regards to the Dodgers, just running out the lefties. And the nice thing about this, Colorado has 1 lefty receiver. I've been reading up on football, Jake. Colorado has 1 lefty reliever in their bullpen, so that decreases the opportunities that Dave Roberts has to do double switches and pulling his pitch. Well, he could still pull the pitcher early, but the double switches may not happen because his lefties would still be going against righties most likely. So that bodes well for Peterson and Verdugo. They do have both of them up at the top. They are the 2 most likely pinch hit risks, along with Matthew Beede there. But I like everybody. Actually, you know what? I like everybody on this lineup here for the Dodgers, and I think mixing and matching. Taylor and Turner are solid in righty-righty situations, and Russell Martin's darn near the minimum on most sites. So I think that those would be your differentiation plays, as a lot of people will look towards the top 4 there, maybe top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem stacking up any part of this lineup at all. I believe they're going a little bit undervalued based on their implied total and their chance to be the top overall stack according to our projections. So if you're not crazy about Texas, if you're not crazy about the Yankees, this is a stack you should be going really heavy on in your MME builds, at least. So this is kind of my second spot. I mentioned that I wasn't really going to be playing a ton of Yankee stacks. I like the Dodgers quite a bit against Lambert. I mean, people are going to like him, but they're just going to fall 3rd or 4th fiddle on the short slate. So hoping to get an ownership edge. I'm trying to include the expensive, really good bats like Bellinger number 1 and then Muncy 2 at batting 5th. So if this Dodger stack does go off, it's likely those 2 guys are going to be part of the stack going off. But the problem is people aren't going to be playing them because it's going to be difficult to play them alongside Ryu.
All right. On the other side, I really don't see any one-offs that I would be interested in going against Ryu. I guess you could consider Iannetta if you wanted some catcher differentiation. He is a little bit better against lefties, but Ryu is pretty damn good. Ian Desmond, 3,900. I wouldn't hate him as a one-off on DK. And then Nolan Arenado, 4,200. One of the lower price points we're going to see if anyone's going to get to Ryu. I would suspect it to be him, but again, no guarantee on that.
Yeah, I think Arenado, just obvious value there. No Trevor Story. So it would basically be just Arenado. The Desmond call, not bad. I just think that these guys project so poorly, but they are going to get some ownership because people are going, they're going to play the Rockies just to go on the other side. And while that's a fine spot, I'd rather just allocate those shares to some of these cheap Rangers and try to not get cute. It looks like some people are with these Rockies. So just really respect Ryu. He's my favorite guy tonight, as he's probably everyone's favorite guy. But I don't think it's that sneaky to play some of these super cheap Rockies.
All right, maneuvering our way on. We've got two more, and then we'll take some questions. You can watch us build some lineups. We'll have a little bit of fun here on the Chicago and Rangers game. Now, Odrismer Despaigne, not great, doesn't allow a ton of power, but Texas is coming in with the 6.2 implied run total. We have an 85-degree first pitch temperature. You've got a bit of a breeze coming in from right field. The way Arlington is built, we used to get excited when they had that breeze coming in because they had a bunch of plexiglass protection that created a reverse wind tunnel that when it bounced it back to the outfield. They changed that about 3 seasons ago, if not. This is the third season they haven't had that. So just be cognizant of that, but it doesn't really impact things in Texas that much with the wind until you get above 15. So something in the 10 to 12, 10 to 14 range. I'm not going to let that concern me too much here. Despaigne doesn't strike out a lot of guys, so I expect a lot of balls in play here. For me, probably my favorite tonight is Shin-Soo Choo, followed by Mazzara, and then Cabrera. Now, the problem is those guys are not adjacent to each other in the lineup. But if I'm going in whole hog here, I have no issues with that. And then Ronald Guzman batting 8th. You are giving up your first base spot unless you have a utility position available for you. But he does have some intriguing power. And, those home runs, bottom of the order, Jake, they do still count.
I've heard that from somewhere. I just can't put my finger on where. But I do hear they count the same.
I believe our friend Seth likes to talk about that.
That's right. You're exactly right. You're on today. So I've alluded to it a couple of times. Rangers #1 stack by kind of a mile for me. While Despaigne, he doesn't give up a ton of power. This park is just terrible to pitch in when you're not missing bats. And if you're not missing bats against Texas, even without Gallo, as we've seen, they can still have some massive performances. So you're getting discounts on guys like Calhoun, who's getting a lineup bump. Cabrera still under 4K. I like Ronald Guzman in the 8th spot as well. The only guy that I'm like, if I was hand building, the guy I would avoid in Texas is Jeff Mathis at 2K. I don't even know that you're going to need the 2K catcher, but it's just going to be such a throwaway spot for a lot of people. So he's a guy I would be trying to get under on if I could. And I honestly can't right now because I'm playing so much Texas that I feel like just like a chalk donkey for playing him. But he's my lowest Texas hitter by a good margin, but he's still above the 10% or 13% where we have him right now. That's just too high for him.
Now, word to the wise here, because we have the 3 expensive pitchers and we want a 5-man Texas stack, I don't cap my batters. I let my stacks do it for me, but I run a lot of 5-0s. So that means my Texas stacks are going to end up just with a boatload of Mathis unless I go individually cap him. Because I'll be excited and saying, oh, look, I got Ryu, I got, this other guy, and I got 5 Texas guys. Well, until I go look at the Texas guys and realize that they're not the guys I really wanted because Fourth Eye sneaks in there, or Guzman, or Mathis, then I run into the, that's not what I wanted face that Adam has perfected after lock almost every night. I'm right there with him. But just food for thought there. For anybody. If you were going to put in your core 4 here for the Rangers, who would they be?
All right, let me pull up this lineup. Actually, let me pull up my exposures. I'll just tell you.
While you're doing that, if anybody's doing some hand building, I just built a fun one on Yahoo. I went 5, 6, 7, 8 for the Giants. I could get in Ryu, and I could get any 2 one-offs I wanted. That would be Belt, Pilar, Dickerson, and Crawford. It's kind of fun. So just saying, there you go. There's a little bit of a contrarian one for you.
Nice. All right, so Texas top 4, Mazzara #1, and these guys are all right now on my last crunch 39 to 36% owned for me. So Mazzara, Calhoun, Cabrera, Chu separated by less than 3% each. And then the next guy is actually Andrews, who's over 35. So got a clear top 5. After that would be Guzman. 30% of an 8-hitter isn't always the most fun, but I think the spot's just too good for me to avoid it here.
All right. Question in chat here in YouTube. So let's answer this one. Can you guys explain the best size of stack to run on a 5-gamer? Was it a 4-3-1? Is it a 2-2-2? Is it a 4-4? Seems like a full 5-man might be a bit much. So on Yahoo on this slate, I've hand built a couple 6-mans, but I'm mostly going when I was running the crunches just to see what it would end up being. I chose 5-mans because you'll leave a lot of the risk you can run is you can leave a lot of salary on the table and not expect it if you're running a lot of lineups on these type of slates that can be imbalanced with pitchers being rather expensive and no cheap ones to go to. And that was one of the things I saw last night. There was a 4-game slate at 8 o'clock. And I was, running 80 lineups, and my last 20 lineups were like $45,000 or less. That's not what I want to have. I don't want to leave $5,000 on the table for DK. So I will say I don't have a problem running 5-mans if it's the 5-mans you want, but then run zeros because that lets you get the better one-offs in. I don't mind going 4-2 or 4-0 on these type of slates. Running 4-4 is a little bit tough with the way pitching is today. If there were more mid-tier options, 4-4s would work better. But the pitching on DK is sort of pushing me to not really be excited about 4-4s.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Of course, every slate is different. But in general, you want to be willing to stack less when the slate size is smaller. So I got a 15-game slate. The idea is there's going to be a bunch of outlier performances because there's 30 teams in play. There's going to be teams that score 10-plus runs, multiple teams. So you want to stack more. You want more like 5-3s if you're playing on DraftKings or like 6-man stacks on Yahoo because they do allow you to do that. FanDuel for me, it's basically always 4-4, 4-3. And that's kind of it. Some people do 4-2s. I've seen some pros do some 4-2s. So that might be something interesting on a 5-game slate to think about. But yeah, you just want to, in general, you stack less as there are, less games. You stack more as there are more games. So this slate tonight should be completely different than last night in terms of how you're setting it. Not completely different, but your rosters are going to look a little bit different. Your portfolio.
All right. Let's see. Jeffrey Forever says he needs a lineup. Hey, plug in the Osmo projections, run an optimal, and there you go. There's a lineup for you.
Who was it? Jeffrey?
Jeffrey Forever.
Jeffrey Forever. Just go to the cheat sheets.
Ooh.
Click on guys. On your site, we got it for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. Of course, we love Yahoo. And you can make a lineup from there. If you're looking for more of a cashy build, we got the cash guys in green. Or if you're looking for tournaments, maybe go to the top stack tool. And you will want to pick a stack that's going undervalue. So a stack that has a higher chance of being the top stack than their ownership share.
And running just one lineup is not, if you feel it's a little bit chalky, that's okay. Just differentiate at a couple spots. Baseball's one of the best that you can do that for. You differentiate and say, you know what, I'm going to put in a Brandon Crawford because no one's going to play him batting 8th. And all of a sudden you have a relatively unique lineup. And if he does anything, he can definitely help you out and get a leg up on those that you are chasing down.
That's right.
All right, let me get back to our little list here. So, the White Sox against Lance Lynn. Eloy Jimenez is really the only one I'm interested in, maybe a Jose Abreu. But Righty is definitely into the strength of what Lance Lynn has. Yonder Alonso has, I don't know, like a 100 ISO or something. He's just been awful this season. So, really don't want to go with him. He's one of my favorites, but not this season, sadly. Not this season.
Yeah, so the White Sox bats against Lynn. I actually like Lynn. He's pretty chalky right now. Actually, I think we just got another ownership update. So let me put that in. But right now we had him around 30%, which is kind of crazy to be playing a 30% owned Lance Lynn at 10-1 on DraftKings. But that's kind of where we're at on this slate. So if you want someone that's a little bit less chalky than Ryu, this is my next guy that I'm paying up for. He's actually been really, really good this year, which I discovered last start. I hadn't played in a lot of Lance Lynn slates, but he's going 100 pitches basically every time out, getting strikeouts, doing basically everything you want outside of giving up maybe a few too many hits in some starts. But just look at like the DK game logs, his raw strikeout numbers and all that. Everything looks pretty good. And now you get a team that strikes out a ton. They've got some lefty power in Alonso and Moncada, but I'm not nearly as interested in the White Sox as I am some of these other teams around them.
All right, let's see. I got my Yahoo done, so that means I will start uploading the projections and getting some crunches going here. Final game of our slate, we have San Francisco at Arizona. You have Zach Godley. Oh boy. So let me get in and look at some Zach Godley game logs. If I'm remembering correctly, he's been doing a little work out of the pen here and there, but he has disappointed pretty much for the last 2 seasons. Let's count this one. So he's been coming out of the pen. He is starting here. Let's see, 9th start of the 2019 season. He's really been pitching in a bullpen role. Arizona has an opening in the rotation after the injury to John Duplantier. So if this goes well, he could see more time going forward. Now, he did go 75 pitches in his last start, and he is priced at 69,000 or 6,900. Jake,
that's nice. The question, so he's been bad. I mean, he has just not been good out of the bullpen. He has not been good in a starting role. Just getting tagged pretty good. Seems like every few times he's gone out there. So just a completely different guy than what we've been accustomed to in like 2017 and the start of 2018. He was really, really solid. So I'm just kind of treating him as a different pitcher. You mentioned the pitch count, so that's going to at least put him in play as an option for under 7K here against the Giants, but still not a great strikeout matchup here. So I don't know about you, but I'm actually getting to more of Tyler Beede at 5,400.
Yeah, it is. He's 25 on Yahoo, so he is on. I think I ended up on 3 or 4 of my 10. He is 54 on DK. He's going to be on a lot of my teams. Now I'm going to give a little bit of a peek here behind the paywall. I'm going to say this because Adam, he had the deep dive up early, and he was citing it on his earlier show. But he said that Beede, he likes Beede, actually likes Beede tonight. Now, just knowing Adam, anybody that has a 5 starting with their salary on DK is someone that he likes, just as a general baseline. Because, you have to. However, he does want to point out that Beede has struck out nearly 35% of his hitters in 7 AAA starts. And then with the big club, he has a 24% strikeout rate. So he said that's much higher than what we will find for most pitchers at this price point. The issue for him has been the walks, 16% after walking just 10% in AAA. So we'll see if that changes. Now the Diamondbacks are a below average strikeout team, but they are missing tonight. No Ketel Marte. Obviously, AJ Pollock and Goldie are no longer with the team. So you're looking at Jared Dyson, who is somehow 5,100 on DK. I don't know what his agent is telling DK, but Jared Dyson, I think last time I looked, do you have him up? What are his raw numbers I can get?
I don't have him up. I know he's actually been better because I looked this up a few weeks ago.
All right, here he is. He is batting 260, 5 home runs, and 17 stolen bases. So he's got the top 10 stolen base numbers, but 17 halfway through the season, he's going to end up with 35 stolen bases. That's not exactly lighting up the base paths.
No, I mean, he's fine. Like he's
16 RBI, Jake. He has 16 RBI on the season.
Yeah. Not a great player, but for DFS, he's at least worth looking at almost always because he leads off, and he's usually not this expensive, but he steals bases, which are pretty undervalued still in DFS.
They are, and they don't happen nearly as often as they did once upon a time.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Coming back on the other side here, I do like Brandon Belt against Godley. I don't mind Crawford. There was one other guy. Somehow, Pablo Sandoval, Kung Fu Panda, he can only play well when he's with the Giants.
Yeah.
Who knew? because his body type is even a little larger than it was when he was with Boston, and he's been light years ahead of that with back in his second stint here with San Francisco. So who knew? Who knew?
So, yeah, I definitely like these Giants bats, especially with Godley getting ownership. So I know Posey is not what he once was, but I'm getting to a bunch of him. I'm getting to Joe Panic as well, just $3,100 leading off. You get some leverage here against Godley. So any of these Giants bats that are at least decent, Sandoval included, are going to make some of my lineups, especially when I'm playing these super chalky stacks. I need to be getting some leverage somewhere on a short slate like this. So this is kind of a team I'm doing it for cheap against a pitcher that's been really bad.
All right, I'm running my tiers lineups here because those are relatively straightforward. Looks like I'm going to be getting a lot of Dodgers. I'm fine with that, and a lot of Freddie Freeman as well in the second slot. I don't mind that either.
No, I love when I get Freddie Freeman.
Let me see here. I got to increase some of my. Oh, Anthony Rendon. You know what? Anthony Rendon didn't make it. Have you seen what the abomination that is now what Major League Baseball's new? Hey, we're going to shake up the way we choose players for our teams thing. So they basically are picking 3 at every position and then 6 outfielders, and then those are where the starters are going to be voted from.
For the All-Star game?
For the All-Star game.
Say that again. 3
players from each position in both leagues. So like in the AL, you'd have 3 first basemen, 3 second, 3 third. So Bryce Harper was not in the top 6 for the NL. And they're saying there's a good chance the coaches aren't going to put him on, or the other fan vote isn't going to put him on, which is kind of funny considering his contract. But Anthony Rendon, who I think is in the conversation still for MVP, is not in. He wasn't one of the best 3 third basemen. Now, Atlanta did a good job of putting somebody at damn near every position, so clearly there were shenanigans involved because it's the interweb. But that was just interesting to me that some of the guys that weren't making the list. And he's having a horrible season. Jake.
Yeah.
I'm going to call you Josh at least 3 more times on the show. Don't you worry, though.
I haven't caught it once, but I'm also trying to put my lineups in lately, so.
Perfect. Well, don't worry. This is not being memorialized for everybody to see for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. It is, actually. Damn it.
All right. So I think, pretty much set right now. We have one more game, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
We're all good. Yeah. I was looking at earlier game. Boston was up there, but yeah. How did your early slate go?
Not good.
Yeah, me either.
I didn't play a lot because I was away from the house, but the teams I did put in, not good. No bueno.
Yeah. All right. So exposures, DraftKings. This is what we got. Ryu is my highest owned pitcher. Shocking. Just above the field at 53%. You want to guess my next 2 highest owned pitchers?
Lance Lynn at 37.
Close. He's 3rd.
And you know what? You talked yourself into Tyler Beede at 42%.
38% Tyler Beede is my next highest guy. Then it's Lynn at 33.3. Let's see. How many is this? My 6 out of my top 7 hitters exposures are Texas bats. So I like to see that. And then Freeman and Max Muncy are number 3. Or no, I'm sorry. Not Freeman. That's actually my top 6 bats are Texas bats. So I'm going down with the ship with Texas tonight on DraftKings. And then I look at my FanDuel exposures, and I thought maybe I would get some sort of variety here and not have all my eggs in the Texas basket. But, can't get away from them either. I have 4 Texas hitters above 40% on FanDuel.
Is one of them Jeff Mathis? Oh, that's FanDuel.
No. Mathis is, I think I got underweight on him on DraftKings on my last one, which is perfect. Yeah, I'm under. So he went up to almost 20%. I have Mathis at 12.7. So that's exactly what I wanted to do. I would not like anywhere close to the majority of my Texas stacks having Jeff Mathis.
Yeah, I'm going to use this opportunity to go in and set my caps on him at, what'd you say, 12%? That sounds good. So I'm going to put him in at 12. Just as a preemptive, let's not. I already know how, I've seen this story. You know what, we'll go 17 just because. But I know how this story ends when you do.
Let's do this, Jake. Ride the Beede train. Yeah, we're going to be riding. I think a lot of people that use Alex's projections. So if you're a premium member, or if you just like riding with us, are going to be on the Beede train. So it's going to be a lot of Beede, a lot of Texas, a lot of Fulte, and hopefully Ryu does his thing, and then you kind of just get the right combo. But yeah, this is the most I think I've played a stack on a main slate like this, even at 5 games. So just all in basically on Texas, especially on FanDuel. Like I have so many hitters.
Wait, when did you start playing FanDuel again? Like regularly? Because I've heard you talk about them a couple shows now. I know you play there from time to time, but being on air and playing them, that's dedication.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I should be playing over there. Like, so I'm playing on Yahoo and playing on DraftKings, of course, but you should just be playing on FanDuel if you're trying to get more volume, because DraftKings doesn't really allow you to. You're trying to play lower stakes, but still trying to be playing a good amount of money every night.
Yes, so, that is very, very true.
They've got the 150 quarter, which is crazy amount of entrants. They've got that Beanball, which is actually a really good tournament, and DraftKings, I play all their normal stuff, and then Yahoo's got the rake free tournament. So just trying to spread the wealth a little bit. But are you playing on FanDuel tonight?
I am not, and I'm mad because I had won like 5 or 6 tickets into something, and they don't give you announcements. Somehow they're able to email me and send me push notifications once a day, but they didn't tell me that I had tickets that ended up going unused. And that was about $60 worth. So I'm back away from FanDuel right now.
Yeah, that's fair. There was one other thing I was going to ask you. We didn't do dong picks. That's what it was.
Oh, let me kick off another crunch here.
Okay, go ahead.
We can do that.
All right,
my 4-4s. I'm only doing 25% of my lineups in 4-4s, but I got Ryu 60, Beede 45, and Lynn 35. My top stacks are New York and Texas, for what that is worth, with LA right behind.
Nice.
All right. I already have my dong. I know who I'm going with.
Who was that?
Well, you can go first.
No, you go. You got your guy. Go ahead.
Do I want to say it out loud? Jock Peterson.
Okay, nice. I like that. I thought you were gonna maybe go with Muncy again, but
no.
Okay.
Feels a little. Only if I can somehow troll Josh at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be ridiculous of me to not pick a Ranger just because I'm fawning all over them. I think I got one from Calhoun a few weeks ago, but I'm gonna go with the chalk, Nomar Mazara.
All right, I would, if I was my guy that I had in my mind was going to be Shin-Soo Choo, but I will have plenty of him, so I don't feel bad.
I like that too because he's the highest price guy on the stack, and he's getting some ownership, but I don't think as much as he should right now. So, so it was between Mazara, Chu, and Calhoun. So, took Mazara. We will see. All right. If anybody's are you still doing your?
Yeah, but I if you want to steer the ship, I can do this.
Yeah,
I'm pulling them all into my thing to sort them. So
not
sort them as good as you guys do, but I have a different methodology.
Okay. Whatever works. Rinpack says the 222 contest is the best on FanDuel. I hear you've had some success on FanDuel in recent weeks, but yeah, it is the best. It's the best tournament on FanDuel for lower stakes. They have pretty decent payout structures from what I see. And when I get in that $5, that's it's usually when it's a better payout structure. On DraftKings, I'm just, for whatever reason, more reckless with the tournaments I enter. I guess maybe just because I have more money over there. or whatever. But trying to build up the FanDuel bankroll because I want to play there during NFL.
Yes.
I want to play there during NHL, especially. I just didn't play there at all in NHL. Besides Saturdays when DraftKings would roll out some really terrible tournaments, so it's just I should be doing it. I have the time, and now I have a system to enter my MLB lineups in the matter of a few minutes. We just got an ownership update. If anybody wants to plug that into their sheets, that's a premium member. I'll see if anything changed in a big way. So I'll look at DraftKings. If anybody rose to the top here.
And for the record, on my 4 O's that I just ran on DraftKings, I've got 60% Ryu and 60% Shinsuchu.
That's
now that's going to be a quarter of my lineup, so it's not like I'm completely going overboard.
Are you using randomness?
Yes, I am.
How much?
25 classic.
Oh, 25 classic. Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean, they just project out so well. So it's just really interesting to see this Yankees ownership. They've got the bigger names and they're the better team, of course. But I think for me, Wade Miley's a way better pitcher and a guy I would like to target against less than Despaigne in the White Sox pen. And it's not as good of a hitting environment either. And the Rangers have a 6.4 implied total. So.
All right. Here's the other fun thing I do. So I bring back in my lineups into Swaptimizer so I can see when I run all my different stacks what I end up with. So I'm getting 60% Ryu. So that held true. He was hitting my caps. Tyler Beede is at 45. Lance Lynn at 40. Fulte at 30. Tanaka at 10. Sanchez at 10. Godley at 5. Lambert at 3. For 13 lineups of my 400, and then Wade Miley at 3. Now I'm running basically 300 lineups that are unique, and then I am in a bunch of winner take all and boosters. So I just take one of the other lineups I already have and put it in that, because there's nothing more frustrating than killing it in the booster and not having it anywhere else.
Right. Yeah.
From that standpoint, Chu is 40, Judge is 30, Mazzara is 30. Stanton is 30, Peralta is 20, Jock is 20, Andrus 20, Bregman 14. So I've got hodgepodge at shortstop. Third base, I got 30% Cabrera, 20% LeMahieu, 16% Turner. I got 30% Altuve, and I'm slightly rounding here, 20% LeMahieu, 20% Muncy. Muncy's at 2 positions, but I got him at 20%. Voit, 16, Freeman 20, Guzman at 15%. Belt at 12%. So in my catchers, I capped him. Where's my guy? What's he killing me with? He's at 16.6%. Jeff Mathis.
Yeah. So Sam in YouTube chat just said Mathis 3-time dong tonight. That is just a lock.
I would cry.
Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have all the Rangers do well, but you're gonna need Mathis because he's gonna have 2 singles that roll through the middle and he'll get 4 RBIs. He'll just rack up 18 DK points on 2 at bats on singles just because they're going to be, going around the bases so easily. And Math is just going to get lucky. And,
all right. Doing a little bit of, I'm looking for overlay. There's really none on DK. There's really none on Fantasy Draft. Yahoo does not have any so to speak of, although they do have a $5 that's going to overlay by about 20 spots. It looks like it's what is that? The 2-entry max? 3-entry max. But one thing you want to consider is, now it's a little harder tonight because they're just 2 game slates, but Yahoo and FanDuel generally overlay on their short slates if you're paying attention. Not across the board, but in some of the smaller contests, you can find a little bit of breathing room, which is what I like to see. Plus, it's only a 12% management fee on Yahoo.
Exactly. It's already better. It's already better as far as the amount of money they take from you before the contest even starts.
Indeed. And you, I think the min cash is double in those management fee free contests, which, again, that will be dropping in probably about 15 minutes. So if you want to get in it for Sunday, do not dilly-dally. Let me just go look here. Yes, it does double. It's $6 instead of, on DK or Yahoo or DK or FanDuel, that would be probably $4.50. So be a little frustrating. So like yesterday, I only cashed 3 of my teams. 2 of them were Mariner stacks. Who knew? And one of the teams I cashed actually had Sale and Bauer. But they had 3 min cashes. But I wasn't angry because my $30, I lost 12. That's an acceptable loss for me.
Yeah, that's not bad. I had my best team last night was Mariner stack with Musgrove and Sale. So I couldn't get better. Like I had Sale in the lineup, so I couldn't get better one-offs. It was a couple Texas. It was like a 5-2-1 or something. It was like my 2 Texas one-offs had 5 points each. So I think it scored near 200 points. But yeah, that was really frustrating to see Sale in my best lineup because no one else around me had him. And I think I was in the top like 50 or so in the $200 tournament for a while there near the end. And then someone hit a home run or did something. I knew I was falling, but just saw the winnings plummet really quickly.
Oh, that is the thing. It's kind of a light slate. I may end up in bed. Last night I was in bed asleep by like 11.
Well, we've got how many West Coast games are there tonight? Just
2. There's the in the Dodgers is not a late game.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a 4:15 game there. From
yes, 4:15 there. So you've got Chicago and Texas at 9, and then San Fran and Arizona at 10.
Yeah.
Is the roof open?
It is in Arizona.
Yeah, because it was 100 there last night.
They've had it open the last like 4 or 5 days.
Open tonight, closed tomorrow. It's be a warm one tomorrow. It's a 1:10 local time start tomorrow.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, during the day like that, 100 degrees is 100 degrees. But when the sun goes down in Arizona, you can deal with, once the temperature drops, you can deal with that.
Are you going to break into some Kenny Chesney for us?
I'm not. Was I reciting lyrics there?
You said when the sun goes down. I thought, didn't you have a Kenny Chesney logo somewhere?
Yeah, that was just a joke with friends, though. I think it's on my Twitter still. Yeah, I don't know.
Is that where it is? Okay, I knew I seen something.
Yeah, it's not I don't like Kenny Chesney at all.
Oh, I've seen him concert like 5 times.
I went to him in concert. That was like maybe my first concert ever a few years ago. Didn't love him. Not my guy, but
I think I've only seen him in concert once since I moved to Virginia, so I've only seen him once in the last 10 years. But I saw him 4 times in Seattle. His stadium tours the Cruise and Run stadium tours were pretty cool. I think that's a fair amount of his stuff, and he had some good opening acts. I mean, well, Uncle Kracker, I think it literally opened for him all 5 times I've seen him. Shout out to him getting one song and then playing some Kid Rock stuff. So there you go, Uncle Kracker. Stay in that lane, buddy. Stay in that lane.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's going to hit it there for us. We've got games tomorrow. So let's see. 85% of the people think Emac has a burner account. There we go. Well, that would involve effort. I signed up to Twitter a long time ago under whatever my email address is, which I'm not going to say on air, that I've had since like 1997 or whenever email was invented. It's a Hotmail account. Remember, I grew up in state of Washington, so I was out there near Microsoft. So when I moved out here to Virginia, it was when AOL was in its heyday, and everybody had AOL accounts. But I have Gmail. So
I had an AOL account, I think.
That'll do it. But I want to look at the slate tomorrow, just to give a little heads up to our peeps. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games prior to 3 o'clock. I do not know. I haven't looked yet. DK's been bouncing around. Some Sundays they are including 3 o'clock. Some Sundays they are not. My guess is they include it
tomorrow.
Pardon?
10 games on the main slate tomorrow.
Okay, so they'll include it tomorrow. And then there's a 4-game 4 o'clock slate. So for those of you that are around, I will be doing office hours. We didn't do them last week because it was Father's Day and there just wasn't a lot of people around in chat. But I'll be doing those at 3 o'clock. And we've been doing some short slate strategies and in hand building some lineups, but for FanDuel, for Yahoo, and for DraftKings. And it's a lot of fun. And we talk about how to leverage the ownership. We talk about game selection and how getting in the 100 and 200 man leagues where they have between 1 and 7 entries max are one of the better ways to go, and not worry about chasing those top prizes. Because if you can turn your $5 into 100, that's pretty cool. Because those same scores would probably turn your $5 into maybe 15 in the bigger contests. So just saying, I'm about the Benjamins. Do kids say that anymore, Jake? The Benjamins? What is money called these days? Do you even know what paper money is, or are you just all about the phone and the?
I have a bunch of paper money right here, actually. So yeah, I know what paper money is. Okay. My parents always tell me to bring cash, just in case.
It works until the economy collapses, and we should all have gold and silver. And I don't know how credit cards are going to work, but there won't be any power, and there will just be pure anarchy. So I don't think it'll really matter. I don't think it'll really matter.
Sounds fun.
Well, it's the way the world's going. The way the world's going. I think that's going to do it for us. Oh, Twitter is saying my burner account is Sean V. I've got a few. Good. The light snack and the big snack, because you are, Jake, the snack Hari.
That's what I hear.
That may have been out on the tweets.
One person has ever called me.
That may actually be on the scroll today too. Just throwing it out there if anybody noticed.
I didn't even notice that.
Assuming I saved it correctly, it is. But I keep typing Jake the Snake, which messes up the whole joke because, one, you're not a professional wrestler as far as I know. And two, it's snack, not snake, snack. But that's going to do it for us. So any other final thoughts before we get on out of here on a Saturday night?
Nothing crazy. Just enjoy the slate. Get in that late slate if there is a decent one. Let's see. Starts at 8:05 my time.
So so it starts in an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, I probably won't play it. I'm going to spend some time with the family. It is my niece's first birthday today, so headed right back to the parents' house. And yeah, it's going to be hopefully a good night. Hopefully it'll turn the night around for a few of you guys. I've been struggling with DFS as far as winning money, but these shows have always been fun. I feel good going into the slate once again. So hopefully it's a good night for me and you, Emac, as well as our subscribers and the free viewers, and then they become premium after that, of course.
Absolutely. This is definitely where the good stuff is. So with that, we're going to get on out of here. You will get live before lock. Since it's a 10 gamer, I'm assuming we will go at noon tomorrow. That will be myself and one Josh Engelman taking you all the way up to lock. We, of course, will have projections. We'll have spotlight pitchers and hitters. Those two articles will be in front of the paywall. Projections will be behind the paywall. I don't know what particular content might be free on Sunday, but I did find out that Alex has said, you know what, Fridays we're going to do for the next few Fridays, Stack Tool will be free. It's like, yeah, you're giving away the best thing. Well, how do we have a best thing here? There are so many amazing things.
Yeah, they're all equally great, I think.
They are. All right. With that, gamers, you can follow Jake on Twitter at Jake Hari. I am at EMACDFS. And of course, it is Awesemo_COM. Good luck.